Welcome to another episode of my YouTube channel. Today, Zack is going to show me how to improve my incident management for Nexus Share and the other SaaS applications that I have. Zack, welcome.
Hi.
What are we going to look at today?
We're going to talk about the DevOps Agent. So the AWS DevOps Agent announced last year at reInvent. And today we are going to deep dive into it and what's capabilities, and we are going to play around with it.
And we're going to see a real demo of how it works in kind of a close to production environment, I would say. And I know that you have been preparing for the session. You have been using this a lot. So we're going to learn how it really works and how you can actually make use of that if you're watching this video in your day-to-day job to improve reacting to incidents potentially, right? And as some of you might know, Johannes has been building some stuff on the side. And Johannes has been building that mainly being alone with just some AI friends. And what I see is it gets more and more difficult for me to react on any painful incidents and stuff like that. But before we go into the technical details, Zack, I know who you are, you know who I am, but a lot of people in the audience might not know you. And to be honest, I'm really ashamed. I think I know you for 4 years or 5 years now and have never invited you to my YouTube channel. So I'm really sorry for that. So we're fixing that today. So tell us a bit about yourself and how the hell you and I met.
Yes, I'm Zack, AWS Hero based in New Zealand, Wellington. So Johannes and I met through the AWS community. We both used to be AWS community builders before. And I think if I'm not wrong, at 2022 reInvent, we met in person finally in Vegas. Then since then, like even we had this virtual communication going on, but we met in person. Then after that, we usually met every year, right? Like at
I think we kind of met every year, and at reInvent or also at other events that we have. Yeah. And I think you're like, for those that are not familiar with the Heroes program is a recognition program for community members in the AWS community that invest a lot of the time and effort into building communities and growing communities. Now, you might remember I'm a DevTools hero, and that's my category. I can't remember. What's yours?
Mine is a community hero.
Oh, okay. So you're really doing the cool community building stuff and not just the boring DevTools thing. Well, that's important and good. Now, what do you do in your day-to-day job? Like, are you like me, an architect in a bigger enterprise, or what are you doing there?
Yeah, I work for a big enterprise cloud-based accounting platform. So I work for we have a massive platform team. So I work for the Kubernetes platform team. Currently, we have multiple EKS clusters. So day to day, we have to do cluster upgrades, add-on upgrades, all the roadmap initiatives, and the customer support, which means, as a platform engineer, your customers are your developers. So we have to make sure we are having that platform where our developers can easily deploy things and manage without any toils. So that's what I do day to day. And yeah, I love coffee. So
And that's how this session also directly fits well into the platform engineering sessions that we had recently on this channel. If you haven't watched them, introducing a little bit the concept of platform engineering, how do you actually deal with that? When this video gets out, there might be 1 or 2 sessions or maybe a few more already available on it. So look at that. It might not be the same thing that platform engineering is the way that Zack explains it, but I think there is a common ground, right? So Zack, the DevOps agent, let's look at it. What does it do, right? What can users do with it, and why was it so important that it got announced at reInvent? So maybe we can directly jump into things and look at details. Go ahead.
So I'll start with a little story. So let's think about you are taking a patient to an emergency room. So I don't know what's the number there. Like here we call the ambulance and take them. So they try to get all these patient history, right? So they have to diagnose first, like what's going on. Is it a heart attack or something else? So imagine when they're trying to collect all these patients' history, trying to diagnose this patient, maybe you will find in a different language, maybe in German. One patient, one history. One is from English, one is from Arabic, or different languages. So there is a different languages. Now we need expertise to translate, and it takes some time. Then they realize, okay, that the patient is losing blood, so we need to check the blood supply and go into the blood bank. And imagine the blood bank is 2 blocks away, and we have to send someone, get it back to the main emergency room. So think the same analogy, the concept. You are trying to troubleshoot. It can be an ECS issue or serverless stack or Kubernetes. You might have, same like this patient history, you might have your logs, metrics in different tools. It can be in Prometheus, Grafana, and certain things in maybe New Relic, certain things in another tool, or correlate everything. It's a bit harder. And again, it's not only that application, right? Let's talk about Kubernetes, what I do day to day. You might have dependencies like IAM, right? Pod identity. Then you have your networking policies, like you have to access a RDS database or a Elasticache database. So these correlation to troubleshoot, it's very hard. Let's say a platform, another platform team, network team is deploying something in for the network, and it breaks, and which are hard to find. So DevOps Agent, it's the main brain where you can correlate your logs, your pipelines, and everything together, and find the root cause and send you within few minutes, oh, this is what went wrong. This is your remediation plan. Yeah, and don't worry, we have 2 demos. We can talk about that today.
Okay, so that actually means that the DevOps agent helps incident managers or people that go into incidents to quickly spot the root cause of something that's going wrong.
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
that sounds fantastic. So let's dive into it. Let's have a look, and then maybe also talk a bit about how do you use it in your day-to-day job, and how does it solve some of the pains that you see today.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm always praying at this moment to see if the screen share works. So let's see.
Let me share my screen. Easy.
Yeah, it does. Easy.
And you are from yesterday, I'm from today.
Yeah, you live in the future, Zack.
Yeah.
Okay, so the DevOps agent is something that I can access through the AWS console, right?
DevOps Agent, it's another tool that you can access from your AWS console. You go here, AWS DevOps Agent, and it will take you to something here.
And it recently went GA. I think it is generally available now since April, I think. So today it's available in 6 AWS regions at the time of recording this, which is early May 2026. That means US East 1, US East 2, Frankfurt, Ireland, Sydney, and Tokyo seems to be the currently available regions for this DevOps agent. But obviously, it can connect to other VPCs in other regions as well if you want to, right? So it shouldn't be an issue anyway.
Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, we are going to talk about that in a bit.
Cool.
So let's start with its ghost here, because I have already set up agent spaces. We can talk about agent spaces in a bit. So let's talk about the capabilities provided. So that is what we wanted, right? Like what are the capabilities of DevOps Agent? If someone is watching for the first time now, they might think, what this guy is talking about? Okay, what is this support and everything, right? And I'll start from the current registered, because it's already registered. It's easy, the Slack. We have in our demo that later we are going to see how Slack's going to help us, and I'll give you a nice story, maybe a real story. So it's already connected. And the cloud, it can connect to Azure cloud. We are talking about AWS DevOps Agent, okay? But it can connect to the Azure cloud. And if you use Azure DevOps before, I have used it in my past. It's another CI/CD overall like full package. It comes with same like GitLab and GitHub, GitLab. So this is a very fun story, Johannes, because sometimes you might say after your first deployment, after second deployment or third deployment, the application is giving crazy or some throttling, some errors or anything, right? So DevOps Agent can go to your GitHub action, find the commit, which made this issue, or if it's a breaking issue, it can find the root cause and give it to you. So you don't have to go back and check, oh, what's going on in my code or anything. Like, this is a correlation I'm talking about. That think about that again, the emergency room scenario, and all these things connected, like patient history, the blood, the other tools and everything. So same, like it's one why is now connected. Okay, it can check its commit history. And the telemetry part, I think we have all the major observability platforms here. Datadog, Grafana, New Relic, Splunk, Dynatrace. I haven't used all of these. I have used Datadog, Grafana, New Relic. If you use Splunk and Dynatrace, give a try and let me know.
Big shout out to Julia and Raphael, who are still missing here. Like -0 is still missing as a telemetry provider, and they have been pretty active on the different KubeCons recently. So that might be something to add soon.
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe tomorrow when you check this, it might be here, because that rapidly it's pushing changes. I have some surprises later. We'll go through that. And if you have your own MCP service and remote MCP service, you can connect to this, which means, let's say in your organization, you have built an MCP server to talk to your internal documentation, policies, or some guardrails, or whatever, and you can connect to this. So it knows to find internal information. Because, Johannes, the way you deploy Kubernetes, the way I deploy Kubernetes might be a little bit of different. The core concept is same, but it's differentiate your organization, right? How we create OPA policies, how you create OPA policies. It's totally different. So this is something you can bring your own MCP server and your tools, the knowledge base to here. Okay, go back and check this document, maybe your internal Confluence, internal some stuff. And I'm keep saying internal private. I'll come back to that. And communication, we have Slack already connected, and we can connect to PagerDuty and ServiceNow as well. PagerDuty is a well-known tool. If you're on call, you can't forget PagerDuty. Those days, right? 2 a.m. in the morning, you get a page. Oh, what is this? And everyone at home waking up, and yeah. So,
and you already connected Slack, which is also a tool for communication. We already looked at that a little bit earlier, right? So that means in your example, you're going to use Slack to do the communication, right? I'm missing, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm missing Microsoft Teams in that, right? I think a bunch of organizations are using that, right? So it might be there tomorrow, but still it's like...
Yes, it's missing. And that's a very good point, because a lot of enterprise used Teams as well, and I'm a big fan of Discord. I would love to see Discord as well, because my fully the personal automations and everything going via Discord. So if I can.
Okay, funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but we are engineers, right? I can run a Lambda and I can do that, because we are gonna see something later.
I can even connect to WhatsApp now, so maybe that's the next extension that we want.
So it's not blocking us to do things, because we are engineers. We find solutions, right? We have to think how we can do it. So we have the base building blocks. Let's build it. But hopefully AWS listen to this and give my Discord integration. Cool. So the configurations, you can configure what are the log deliveries, the streamings coming to these the capabilities. So registration is done. Let's go back to the configuration. So configuration, send the logs and metrics about the capability providers. So we saw that how we import the logs and the metrics and everything. And here, capability provider logs we can send. But I haven't configured it because this is my demo account. I don't want to pay a bill for my CloudWatch.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, right? Yeah. And remember, I keep saying private, your personal private documentation. So it supports private connections like VPC connection, the Lattice, and you can securely connect via the private network, like VPC endpoints, It's called the PrivateLink, right? I think it uses PrivateLinks, but
I think it uses Lattice, right? Lattice
Yeah.
at the end, right? Which under the hood uses PrivateLink, as far as I remember
Yes.
the conversations. Yeah.
So if you feel like, okay, I need to send my the information via private link, okay, here you go, can configure it. I haven't tested this because for my testing I didn't have a use case, but I'm going to try each and every capabilities, and maybe future we can do another one. Cool.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Let's go. So now
So this is all preparation for the agent at the end, right? Making sure that you
Yeah.
set up the connections and that you can actually use the different tools that you have already in your
Yes.
space, right?
Exactly.
And yep.
So agent space, you can have different agent space. So once you create the agent space, you just basically give the name and the response language. That's also amazing because I click English, but here you can see what are the language supports.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it says German as well. And this is the IAM role for the console, because once we create the agent space, we will get a beautiful chat window and a dedicated tool. So this is where we can configure those agent space, the AWS resource access. So let's say I want to configure the agent to access my EKS cluster, Johannes. So, IAM access entries there. So I have to put that IAM role in my kube config or IAM access entries to access the cluster. So it's very simple, and the web app, this is the web app I was talking about, and you can create a new role for the web app, and or else you can if you're doing in a production, you have a separate IAM role creation and you map here, and and there are some advanced configuration like encryption. Again, you can bring your own KMS key or you can use the default KMS key. Then that's it. You create it, then you can configure capabilities. So I have already created one here because today's demo we are going to talk about Kubernetes. So in my agent space, we'll come to these numbers in a bit. So the cloud, I have my the current account set up because the developer account.
Okay.
I don't care about that one's fine because I just delete, create, it's all right. And you can have secondary sources as well. Like you can have, if you click here, you can get your Azure and the AWS account.
No GCP yet.
That's very surprising for me because
GCP is usually easier to integrate, but maybe the legal terms are different there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe 100%. And I don't have any telemetry capabilities. Like here, if you click,
you're using CloudWatch, I guess, right? So you will not need other other external sources. Yeah,
because I have give the permission to access my account, so it can access all my VPC flow logs, CloudWatch, the CloudTrail, and everything. So pipeline, I don't have anything, but I have the Slack channel and no MCP yet. Okay, the webhook. So this is where things very fun. Like when I did this first time, I mean anyone, right? Like you have to go through the documentation and find these things. But what I did, I used Hero CLI to read the documentation because I use this AWS knowledge base MCP. It's really nice. It can give me that bullet point, like the easy to read, because I don't want to read the entire thing, right? I want to highlight, okay, what are the API limits, any limitations, or what are the blockers, like what can I do, what can't I do, so those things. So finally, I wanted to do the fully autonomous one. So which means sorry.
I was just saying, cool, let's try it out.
Oh, cool. So let's say now you want to trigger your DevOps agent. Okay, something going wrong. So that's where the agent space come with the webhook. So webhook basically, you can have your third-party application to tell DevOps agent, hey, something wrong. Can you start investigate? So it will it will start investigation. So when you add a webhook, it will give you this URL and a secret. So make sure it's in the it's very secured, because
Yeah.
those are very secured information, and it's already connected now. So later we can see how thing works. I'm gonna intentionally break something and do it. So yeah, and I think, okay, the last thing. So this 709 relationship map so far. So DevOps Agent, it's basically feeding itself, scanning my account and gathering all the relationships. So it has this correlation, easily find, okay, the Johannes pod is running and the Johannes database is down. So it knows, okay, pod is crashing because of the database is down. Okay, why the database is down? Oh, Zack has removed the security group rule. So that's why it can't access. So that is the relationship map, that level. And I'm going to show.
So the agent needs a kind of an inventory to then be able to react on things, right?
100%.
That makes sense. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready? Let's jump into
Let's go.
the
Yeah.
console. Nice.
So now we're jumping into the web app of the DevOps agent, I guess, right? Good.
So it's here, like when you click, it just open a new window, and here we go. So another chat window, right? I love the colors and themes, beautiful. So quickly, let's go through this one before we jump into the live demo. And incident response. So you can see when you click that, these all are my past incident response. You can see how many times I have tried this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only one page, it's multiple pages. So I was playing around with that file. Like I was keep playing. And these are the investigations, like previous investigations. So
Okay.
When I trigger this, you will see, when I trigger my demo, you can see here, the status will change, like it start pending trigger or in progress or failed. All these status will be changed one by one. And this is basically the investigations which I've done before. And
Okay.
this one, Johannes, I did a session and recorded it last Sunday. Okay. By that time, these improvements, I think they called it as preventions.
Okay.
So when when you told me, like, Zack, let's do this, I went through and rechecked again. All my demo is ready for this session. I was like, where is prevention? Then I realized, oh, it goes as improvements now. That's amazing. So this one is really interesting. So you know that monitoring, we have like proactive monitoring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So proactive monitoring or proactive observability, really good. You can prevent something, it's something going to happen in the future. So this can tell, okay, I'll give you a nice example. So here, I have application running, you know, the hotel demo application, like it's a microservice demo app. So Valkey cart and Postgres memory limit to prevent Redis timeout, cascades and database OM kills. So out of memory kills are very common in Kubernetes if you are not properly configured your application. So you have to make sure you have proper resource limits, requests are configured. So it gives you that in advance. Okay, something here, I don't feel it. Actually, I fixed this. So if you, I fixed this one, I fixed another one. It's already in my video, but these are like preventions. Now this goes as improvements. Overnight, AWS changed the name. But the good news, when I checked last Sunday, there were only 4 categories.
Okay.
Because the categories, it says code optimization. Let's quickly go and see what is code optimization. Optimize .NET runtime, GC, garbage collection, right? Configuration to reduce accounting service memory footprint below 120 minute limit. So it's suggesting some code optimization. And observability, infrastructure, governance. Those are the 4 things I saw last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have implemented deployment and pipeline, scaling and capacity, security compliance, cost optimization. Ooh, I love this, Johannes. I can't wait until you test this. Reliability and resilience and operational process. So I haven't gone through each and everything yet because I saw this last night.
Yeah, of course. As they are new, obviously, right? So I think the main messaging here is that the DevOps agent seems to be under active development right now, right? And
Yes.
that there is a bunch of new things coming in on a regular basis. Obviously, we don't know how much it's going to be, right? And how long they are going to invest into it, but it seems like at the moment it's still growing. So how does it look? Like,
Sorry,
so
how does
let's
it?
no, sorry.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
do it again. Let's do it again. So let's look at an investigation. So you were saying a little bit earlier, like there's a patient coming in. Can we simulate an error or something like that to actually look at what the agent is gonna do? Let's try that.
Cool. Let's do that. Before to go that, I'm gonna show one more thing because I'm super excited to show this. The topology. This is the connection that AWS DevOps Agent creates. Look at this. Look at the correlation. This is my dev account. Imagine it's a big account. I'm not sure how it's gonna show. If you remember Application Composer, AWS has something called Application Composer, if I'm not wrong, or Infrastructure Composer. So it looks like that. So these are the correlations and the topology, how it connected, and it knows where it is and everything. Cool. And the last but not least, the artifacts. This one, basically you can save your previous investigation and you can create basically a runbook, the remediation step. So we are gonna do a demo now, and
Cool.
we don't have to wait. Let's jump into the demo.
Let's go.
Cool. So get pods. Okay, I have multiple pods, so we are gonna use this one. This one, it's basically a simple app, Johannes. It's basically talking to a DynamoDB table, and the DynamoDB table, it's printing something for the ingress. And if I go here, it says AWS DevOps Agent is cool. Simple. So it has a pod identity association, and it has IAM role and IAM policy. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to break the pod identity. I'm going to break the IAM policy. So I'm going to get the pod. So let's watch this one. Nice. So pod is running, healthy state. I'm going back to the console. So if I go to the CloudWatch, I have an alarm configured. It's healthy.
Okay.
So it's checking if there are any 500 errors coming to the DevOps agent from, not the DevOps agent, from the EKS cluster.
From the cluster. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm running these CloudWatch observability add-on to scrape all these things. So let's go to the IAM role. So IAM role is this for that pod identity association. And you can say, I have a DynamoDB table name called DevOps Agent Demo, and get item is there.
Now we're gonna change that so it becomes an
something
error.
else. Yes.
Some
random. I just randomly put something because it's explicitly checking for that resource. So it should be failing. Next. And don't do this at home. You should not edit your policies like this through the console. Joking. Cool. Cool. So the pod is failing. So it will go multiple restart cycles because that's how I configure the probes. And definitely it's not ready. It's failing. And if I go back to the ingress URL, oops, it's failing.
Yeah, so of course it's failing. You broke it.
I broke it, right? Yeah. And let's go back to the CloudWatch alarm and see, it start to trigger. So
yay.
First time I'm happy to see something is failing. Here we go. It's broken in alarm state now. So now it triggered the Lambda. Lambda will tell the DevOps agent.
Got it.
So the DevOps agent now should be start investigation. Johannes, now we can see the spending start. The investigation is going on now. Cool, right? Now it's
Cool.
checking I have a skill. Oh, we forgot to mention about the skills. So while this investigation going on, let's go to the skill. So tool use best practices and understanding agent space. So this is all pre-built skills came with, and this one I generated from here. But you can add your own skill. Now skill are the next big thing, right? Like even we are using skills for each and every incident, everything, and you can create a skill with a chat. That's super cool.
That's cool. That means you can kind of digest or give the agent more ideas on what to do and how to react to things. That is a way of adding your knowledge that you have like created already into the DevOps agent. I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah. And the investigation is in progress. So that the reason I remembered about the skill, because it's going through the skills here, and it's checking the EKS pods. Look at this.
Cool.
And it spent 49 seconds and checking the pods.
So obviously it knows that this is a Kubernetes-based application, and obviously it knows which pod it is because that's where the alarm comes from, right?
Yeah.
And now it's hopefully going to discover that you're the one breaking things, right?
Yes. So the probe's failing, and the error is here, and not ready, and blah blah blah. Everything is going on, and I will close this side. Easy to see. Nice. Sudden error is spiking DevOps agent. Error is starting at this time. 2054. I think it's showing the what time is that? So it's really nice. Look at this. It's like as a platform engineer, this is what we go and check, right? What went happen.
Yeah, true. That's exactly what you would do manually. Like it's
manually, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this. DynamoDB read capacity drops to near 0. So now it's correlating. Okay, there's a DynamoDB table accessing by this pod. Oh, the access went down. Now, as a human, what we do, like, okay, there mean some connection drop between the pod and the DynamoDB table, right?
True.
And it's checking 0 throttle request, any DynamoDB issue, no DynamoDB throttling occurring. So it check all these things end to end, and it's checking now my app returning 500 error because of this EKS resource detector. It's using some tools to observe and still going on. And forbidden, because it should be a forbidden, right? Because I intentionally remove the IAM. Oh, it says IAM RBAC permission issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of already discovered the root cause after 2 minutes and whatever, like 47
it's
seconds.
2 minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay.
But while this is now going on in the background, right, Johannes? So imagine something happened middle of the night, and you're on call, and you have to wake up. Maybe your cats woke up too. You need few minutes to settle because after deep sleep, right? Like you can't suddenly focus. You need to get some water and go to your table. It will take definitely 5-10 minutes because that's
true.
That's the SLA, right? Like you can't
You
suddenly
need to calm down your wife. You need to make sure your kids go to bed again, and that all of that stuff. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. So, but imagine the moment something goes wrong, okay, it can send you a page because we saw the capabilities, PagerDuty can send, and same time it can do all the investigation. Now so the findings. I didn't do anything, right? See, it's doing itself.
Cool.
It's saying like, okay, look at this.
Really good.
Okay, root cause.
It found the root cause?
Yes. So root cause, it's saying AWS fanboy, which is me, modify the inline policy.
Yeah.
This one. And via the AWS console policy update contain a typo in DynamoDB table ARN as I put this one.
Yeah, of course. So essentially it kind of found out what the root cause is. It also found out who did the mistake, right?
What
And while
time,
this
when?
is what time and when, while this kind of seems simple in this use case, right? It
Yeah.
can be very complicated if you have more applications running over here, right?
Yeah, I mean, even it's a simple app. Imagine let's say, as a platform engineer, you don't, as a Kubernetes engineer, you're not doing any IAM related work. Let's say you're taking care of application. Another team is making sure the IAM policies and things are creating, as a big enterprise, let's say, and another person trying to go and chain that one who has privileged access, and you have done nothing and you don't know what's
Yeah.
going on suddenly. And imagine, yeah, and yes, if you have multiple applications, this is really nice and cool. But
So this now gives us the root cause analysis. It did the timeline. Does it also directly offer us a possibility to fix this for us, or is that something that we would now need to do manually?
we have to do manually
Okay.
because it's human in the middle, and it gives you the root cause, and you have to. It will give you the fix, what to do manually. But so this is we are seeing here, right? You're on call, and you should, while you're going to your table, you should see on the way, or like maybe you're commuting while you get page, and you have to see what's going on. So, ta-da! So today,
Cool.
this triggered. My time is like now 9:05 a.m. and it's 8:58, and it sends everything via our integration, and it's
Directly
doing
to
all
Slack.
observations. The same thing we saw in the chat, and the findings here, and the root cause.
Cool. This is really good.
This is really good, right? Like you can see on the way to the phone or your tablet. Yeah, this is
You
cool.
already know
I mean,
what to do when you get into your Slack or when you get directly into your system, right?
yeah,
Can you go back to the agent itself? There was a button that says generate mitigation plan. What does
yeah,
that do? Did you try that? Or will this now generate like the things to do, which essentially is fixing the IAM permission again?
yeah. I haven't tried this one before.
Okay. Yeah, I always try
Yeah,
to
there are
click
so many hidden
every
features.
button that I see, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to try these out like in a real use case scenario, like have a pipeline, third-party observability platform, and together. And I want to give a try how fast it can do. So it's rating for the mitigation plan. Maybe a feedback to AWS. It can be better to have like a clear navigation. To be honest, it's for me. Maybe it's me. It's hard to see 3 tabs. Maybe a outline or box or something like this could be better, like this.
Yeah, good idea. And I think like the mitigation plan it takes too long.
So the mitigation plan. So it keeps saying that AWS
It repeated the root cause analysis at
Yeah.
the end, right?
Yeah.
And then it tells you to actually what to execute. I like that it gives you the CLI commands to execute.
Yeah.
I think it also put in the security policy, right? The IAM policy there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
there it
validation and
is.
everything. It's giving it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? So I can directly use these commands at the end and execute them, right? Now, obviously, even better, it would be to allow the agent to autonomously fix this mitigation plan with the next step, right? Maybe that's something that's going to come next, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this was a very good demo for a kind of still simple use case, but obviously I will try it out for my services that I've been building, Zack. So I know this is a playground environment, but Zack, do you have an idea on how much this is going to cost you for using it? Have you looked at the pricing already?
Yes. For me, no cost at all at the moment, 0, because then realized if you go to the pricing, you can see it support the free tier, and new DevOps Agent customers receive a 2 months free trial starting their first operational task. But this after the general availability. And if you see my investigations, it took only like 24 minutes. It's very less. And when you go to the pricing information page, you can see that, okay, it's a pay-as-you-go. It's 0.0083
per agent second. So
per
if you
agent
say
second.
24 minutes, that's 60 seconds calculated and multiplied by the number that you have there. The time that you spent so far would have
24.
costed you around 11.9, if I got it correctly.
Oh, so it covers under the free tier then?
It would be covered under the free tier, yes. But, well, not free tier. Well, it's covered on the free tier right now, but like afterwards, the investigations you did would have cost you around $12.
So $12. So
yeah,
this number of investigation for $12. Wow,
sounds like good, right? So
yeah, I don't complain, because when I'm using it for I'm using since last month 18th.
Okay, and if you have started to try out the DevOps agent and you have had some strange experiences with pricing or some positive experience with pricing, please let us know in the comments so Zack and I can follow up, because we're curious to see how the pricing kind of plays a key role for this agent, right? Because I think the whole stuff that we're doing on Gen AI and putting AI in action into our day-to-day jobs, it's still underpriced. I'm worried that all of the solutions that we're seeing around in the market today, and the DevOps agent is just another example of that, is not going to be sustainable in the future, right? So I don't know where that goes. Zack, what's your opinion on that? Do you think like we're on the right track here, or is it too early to judge?
No, I think we're on the right track. And to be honest, I'm giving right, we are very critical in feedback, giving and taking both. So critical means like it's a constructive or a good one. So I'm really positive about the DevOps agent. I'm not saying because I love AWS tools or like not biased for anything, but after using this, I was like, because as a platform engineer, a Kubernetes platform engineer, these are the things I go and check. Like if there's something going on, I start from the pod level. I'll go through, follow that correlation manually with different tools and everything, like observability platforms. So it's basically following the same path what we do. So it's super surprisingly, it's giving the confidence to use in a production environment. So I think this is a really good. This is one of my favorite announcement from last year reInvent.
Cool, great to know. So I'm not as well. I'm a bit more skeptical than you are right now, right? I think the main problem that I see is that you still need to set it up in order to connect it to all of the data sources. Enterprise environments are usually a bit more displaced than what we have in our demo environments. So I'm a little bit like fearful that we might not be able to hit all of the possibilities that you have in an enterprise environment. And then obviously, I think we just briefly talked about skills, right? What you also need is a possibility to somehow connect your knowledge bases, your existing runbooks, your history, right, of incidents that you have actually seen, right? And I think there's room for improvement and for making the DevOps agent a little bit smarter, right, in the future.
One last thing, yes, like here's a demo environment. I'm just giving cluster read-only full access to read the cluster information. But in a production environment like Johannes, yes, you have to do security clearance from your security team to give all these access, right? Because in a production environment, you have like compliances. You can't just go and just plug in like this tool and run it around. One thing you could do is strong the RBAC on your Kubernetes level and make sure your PII data or any other critical informations are not in logging. So I would say again, it's a shared responsibility, but yes, you can't just go and plug in, but I'm pretty sure a lot of enterprise customers are already using it. That's on their website.
Yeah, so let's see how that goes. I'm also excited for these kind of things, and I really hope that in 2 years from now, we're going to have our day-to-day day-to-day and day-to-night jobs a little bit easier, where maybe we are not being waking up for every call that for every incident that is happening, right? Where maybe operations
100%.
can be a little bit more automated. Some people have been talking about AIOps. This is a start of AIOps, and I'm eager to see how this develops in the next years. If you're using this, if you have experiences with interacting with AI agents and the DevOps agent in a production environment, please let me know. I'd love you to be the next guest on the show. And if you think what we talked about today is complete, I'm not going to pronounce that, let us also know so we can do things better in the future. Zack, thank you very, very much for spending time with me for the recording. Thank you very much for walking us through the usage of the DevOps agent. And I'm looking forward to see you again pretty soon in person. I think it's just a few months away. And until then, enjoy your winter and the rest of your day today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here, Johannes. And good night for you.
Bye-bye.